Team principal Andrea Stella has confirmed that McLaren faces the risk of losing its drivers' trust after the Singapore Grand Prix incident involving Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. The Italian boss delivered a strong warning which highlights how serious the internal challenges have become at McLaren following the contact between their two drivers. Stella's post-Singapore comments were remarkably open about the issues confronting the team, detailing precisely what is at stake for McLaren moving forward. The team principal stressed that the forthcoming internal review must be highly detailed, thoroughly analytical, and must fully integrate the viewpoints of both drivers. Stella stated, "We will form a common opinion, and we will see whether it confirms our initial interpretation or if there is something else that we should compute." He then revealed the core concern. "We need to be accurate because there is a lot at stake," he continued. "This encompasses not just championship points, but the vital trust of our drivers and the operational integrity of the entire team. When racing as a unit, the two drivers cannot have perfectly aligned interests since they are naturally pursuing their individual aspirations." These statements affirm that McLaren's management is keenly aware that the team is grappling with major problems, with Stella admitting that their driver management approach has jeopardized the entire team relationship. The Singapore incident began when Norris executed an aggressive maneuver on the first lap, resulting in contact with both Max Verstappen and his teammate Piastri. Although Norris went on to secure third place, Piastri was visibly disappointed with the outcome. His radio message, "That wasn't very team-like, but sure," and the accompanying tone of voice clearly indicated his displeasure. McLaren's subsequent reaction only complicated the situation further. The team ultimately determined that no intervention was required, which was challenging for Piastri to accept. For a driver who has previously been asked to uphold team priorities, this decision felt fundamentally unjust. Piastri's frustration was palpable for the remainder of the race, and his post-race remarks made his dissatisfaction with how McLaren managed the affair unambiguously clear. Stella conceded that McLaren's "let them race" philosophy has been the genesis of these internal conflicts. "We want to protect this 'let them race' concept, and we know as soon as you adopt this concept, you face difficulties," he said. The team boss is essentially acknowledging that McLaren's current framework is imperfect, yet they are struggling to implement a consistent solution that can satisfy both drivers. The root cause appears to be that McLaren has set up rules and standards that they fail to enforce consistently. Their supposed papaya rules were intended to be simple: do not crash into your teammate. Instead of maintaining this simplicity, McLaren has overcomplicated the season by making too many situation-specific calls and creating expectations they cannot reliably fulfill. Their attempt to micromanage every incident has backfired, establishing a system where both drivers expect the team to intervene when events do not favour them. The psychological impact on both drivers cannot be ignored. Piastri has been with McLaren since 2023 and has demonstrated exceptional loyalty to the team. He has followed team orders when asked and has consistently prioritised the team's benefit. However, the Singapore incident has clearly tested that loyalty. When a driver feels their own team isn't supporting their position, it introduces a significant element of doubt that can adversely affect their focus and on-track performance. Norris is also feeling immense pressure. The British driver has been a key figure at McLaren since 2019 and has worked diligently to help build the team back to championship contending status. He understands that his aggressive driving style occasionally causes problems, but he also believes he must take calculated risks to win races. The criticism he received post-Singapore placed him in a difficult position, requiring him to balance being highly competitive with being a responsible teammate. The situation is further complex because both drivers enjoy substantial support within the organisation. Norris has been McLaren's established star driver for years and maintains a close working relationship with team boss Zak Brown. Piastri is widely regarded as the future of the team and has impressed everyone with his pace and maturity. Any firm decision McLaren makes in this dynamic will inevitably upset one group of supporters within the team structure. McLaren now urgently needs to completely overhaul their approach to driver management. The current strategy of attempting to appease everyone while making inconsistent decisions is visibly failing. Stella seems to grasp this, suggesting that any further interventions between their drivers would likely be unnecessary and ultimately counterproductive. The path to resolution begins with absolute consistency. McLaren must establish unambiguous rules and adhere to them, regardless of which driver benefits or suffers in any given scenario. They also must come to terms with the reality that in a championship battle between teammates, tension and conflict are unavoidable. Attempting to suppress all friction between Norris and Piastri is unrealistic and has arguably only exacerbated the issue. Both drivers are under enormous pressure to perform at peak level, and they are scrutinizing every decision the team makes to gauge if they are being treated fairly. When drivers begin to feel that their own team is working against them, it creates fundamental problems that can completely derail championship campaigns. Rival teams are observing McLaren's internal struggles with great interest. Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari are all acutely aware that unhappy and disillusioned drivers often seek new career opportunities. If McLaren cannot swiftly resolve their internal management problems, they risk losing one or both of their highly valuable drivers to rival teams. The driver market for 2026 and beyond could look drastically different if McLaren's star talents opt to leave the papaya outfit. The technical division of McLaren has already performed an incredible feat in engineering a championship-caliber car. The designers and engineers have created a machine capable of competing directly with Red Bull and beating them on certain race weekends. However, all that technical progress could be tragically wasted if the team fails to manage the human element, their drivers, effectively. Ultimately, racing success is about people working together harmoniously. If the key personnel are not cooperating, even the fastest car will not win championships. The forthcoming races will be absolutely crucial for McLaren's stability. They must demonstrate to both drivers that they can make fair, consistent decisions under extreme pressure. They also need to accept that managing a title fight between teammates demands a distinctly different approach than managing drivers who are merely attempting to score occasional points. McLaren's senior management team, including Stella and Brown, must initiate honest, transparent discussions with both drivers regarding expectations and boundaries. They need to establish crystal-clear rules about racing between teammates and commit to those rules irrespective of the situation's complexity. They must also recognize that some level of constructive conflict is normal when two elite drivers are vying for the same ultimate prize. Stella's candid assessment offers McLaren a window of opportunity to fix these deep-seated problems before they become insurmountable. But this will demand that the team acknowledges its past mistakes, significantly alters its operational approach, and rebuilds trust with two drivers who are already questioning the fairness of McLaren's handling of the situation. While the team may have already secured the Constructors' Championship, their future, long-term success fundamentally depends on their ability to navigate and resolve this internal crisis. If they fail to restore trust with their drivers, all the recent technical advancements they've made could tragically be rendered pointless. The warning from Stella confirms that McLaren fully grasps what is at stake, but recognizing the problem and successfully implementing the fix are two very different challenges.